Hi. Very nice to meet you. Oh, we're over here. We'll keep going.
It's going to take a long time.
Hello. Hi there. Hello. Nice to meet you. Hi. Hello, Jeffrey. Hi. Nice to meet you. Hello, Jeffrey. Sorry for everyone else doing the handshake.
Welcome to JDC West 2015 Management Information Systems Case Presentation. Thank you to our judges, Nick Hoblich-Sue from MCO, Brad Zimmer from Federated Cooperatives Limited, Greg Hutch from ISM, Aftab Ahmed from Deloitte & Touche, Nancy Smale from Stonefield Systems Group. Competitors will have a maximum of 20 minutes to present. Immediately following the presentation, judges will have a total of 5 minutes to ask the presenters questions. Volunteer timekeeper will show time cards at various time intervals to indicate the time remaining and will stop any speaker who exceeds the maximum time limit. No questions, comments, cell phones, picture taking will be permitted from the audience at any time. The audience will only be permitted to applaud following the question and answer period. The audience is banned from any material that bears the name or symbol of a competing university. We ask the audience to exit the room immediately following the question and answer period. Competitors, you may begin when you are ready.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Quest Designs. We are IT Strat Consulting. I'm Navreet. This is Catherine and this is David, and we are excited to be here today in order to help you with your IT needs. So here's what we have for you in our agenda. We have identified a few issues, or rather areas of improvements for your company. And after analyzing your company and your industry, we have come up with some solid alternatives for you to consider today. We have an implementation plan based on our recommendation and a contingency in order to help you manage risk and for the worst case scenarios. So let's get started. We have identified that your primary issue right now is how you're going to start Tivoli Gardens project phase 1 on time. You have a week left and you have to make sure that you start this on time. And more specifically, how can management information systems help you complete this? How can management information systems help you be more productive and meet your time constraints and your deadlines? So we do recommend that you do incorporate a project management tool into your current business operations in order to help you meet deadlines, be more connected within your team, and be more efficient as an organization. We do understand that your company is based in BC and is a real estate organization. We do understand that your process is quite complex, has a lot of phases, and interacts with a lot of different people. Your business is based on team collaboration, communication, and interaction. And right now you're working on your biggest project, Tivoli Gardens. Your IT use in the past has consisted of easy projects, which did not clearly go as well as you had expected it to. Emails, documents that are saved on separate devices, which are not, of course, backed up. And mobile platforms, texting, BBM chats, WhatsApp messages. There's no one integrated, centralized place for your team to understand where are we going? Where are we at our development phase? What have we accomplished and what is our next goal? So my team and I have done a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis for you today in order to help understand your company and your industry. We do understand that you just successfully completed a 20-unit housing complex, which is a great accomplishment. You have completed, you have understood how it works, you have experience in it, and now you understand the complex process of doing this. Also, you are open to technology. You're using mobile platforms, you're using Excel sheets, you're using all these different mediums. So you do understand, and you are open to new technology. On the flip side, a few of your weaknesses is how you are communicating internally. You're getting volumes and volumes of email chains. 100 to 50 emails to go through. This is taking time away from actually doing your work. This is taking time away from actually doing work in order to help improve your organization and looking at emails. 100 emails and stuff that can be communicated easily by where we are in our project life cycle. What have we completed until now? Also, you have, again, decentralized use of mediums. You're using your phone, you're using your separate laptops, different mediums, which can be centralized in one place. Again, opportunities are great for you. You're currently working on your biggest project, Tivoli Gardens, and moving forward for bigger and better things. One of your biggest threats, along with competition, is not meeting your time constraints, not completing things on time. If you are taking so much time looking in your emails, looking into your inbox, text messaging, asking different people, and repeating the same answer to 3 different people, this is one of your biggest threats. And having a better productive project management tool will help you mitigate this. Before we move into our alternatives, here are a few key success factors we would like you to consider. Whichever alternative you do choose, there is a time of deployment crunch. There is a time crunch right now. You have 1 week where you have to tell your team that the way we've been working right now is not right, and here's how we are going to move forward into our business process. Data security, since you are dealing with a lot of compliance issues, data security is one of the most important key success factors, along with connectivity. Making sure your team is on the same page, is connected, is communicating. Cost, of course, as a company, you want to keep your costs low. And productivity, helping your employees be more efficient in what they do. So here is a requirements analysis that we have done in order for you to understand what kind of project management tool you should have in terms of information technology. So it has to have real-time visibility. What you are doing right now has to be visible to your team members. Everybody should be able to see what they are doing when, and what are their next goals in completing this project. It is centralized, integrated in one place. It promotes team collaboration, communication within your team. Again, email integration is a great way for you to move forward since you are using emails a lot. Accessibility on mobile apps. So having that mobile app, having that mobile platform is another way for you to be more connected as a team. Also, data security and automatic backups. So since you are storing documents on your devices, separate devices, and you do not have any backups, you need to have backups. You need to make sure that all your important data is backed up and it's automatically updated. So our first alternative is Polio. Now this is a project management tool again, which is customizable and flexible. It is easy to use and allows for online collaboration and real-time information. On the flip side, there's no archiving capability, there's no history, there's no what have you talked about, your past projects, or time tracking. You need to track time. Meeting time constraints is your biggest goal right now. Also, it is a $336 per month for 24 users. Since you are a small company right now, even though 24 users are small users, this is a significant amount for you to consider. Now I will pass it off to David to talk about the other alternative.
Thank you, Navreet. So, our second alternative for you today is to go with Igloo. This is another tool that has a simplistic design. It's very easy for your employees to get on it, be able to control it, be able to customize it. That's going to give you an advantage. You already used the tool and your employees used it for a little while and then moved off of it. So you really want to make sure that your employees can use this tool effectively. As well, it comes with a free version. This is really good for you in that you can try it out. You could try the system out, see what you like, see if you like it, and give you the ability to opt out of it if it's something you don't want. Especially since you're in a time crunch right now, it is crucially important that you pick a tool that's going to match your company, that's going to meet your aspects, and it's going to do what you want, and you're going to be able to customize it. As well, this system is hosted. you get to take all that strain off, all that risk. That third party will deal with the maintenance, deal with the things that are nitty-gritty that you don't want your employees having to take months learning and doing. This is going to help you push that time crunch forward. You get to concentrate on your work. You get to do what you do best. As well, it allows for the regulation amount of access. Security was one of the issues you brought up in the information you provided us. This system allows for you to have so much access to that data. Limit it, expand it, see what you want the whole company to know. It allows for that security system, which is highly important in your organization. The problems with this alternative is that it does have few amounts of project management. With your organization right now, you're really focused on one project, meeting those timelines, getting those crunch times in, and knowing what is the next step. By having that limited amount, you're really limiting yourself in that. As well, you do have that $228 per month for 24 users, slightly lower than the first alternative. But this system runs on your intranet. So you don't have one in your organization right now, you would have to implement one, which is going to cost you more as well. The people who are not by your organization are going to have to find another way to access it. You won't get that advantage of real-time data, being able to use it effectively, efficiently, giving you those abilities to make those strategic decisions, see those trends. Our third alternative for you today is Rike. We feel that this alternative directly matches your company. It allows you to have unlimited project management tools. It really allows you to go in depth into each one of your projects. Unlike the first alternative that doesn't archive your projects, now you can. You can see all that information about each of your projects, be able to expand on it. You worked on a 20-unit development. What would you do if you had the information to know every single detail about what would possibly go wrong? What did go wrong? How can we go faster? Every way to improve your organization, speed up those steps. As well, you can customize it. You're not starting from nothing. This tool is expanding on things you're already using. Excel, Word, all those documents, you're expanding on it. You're modifying it. Your employees already know how to use them. Why not let them use it and bring it to the next level? Be able to optimize that. As I said, you're in a time crunch. You don't want to take the time to have to re-explain all of these new systems to your employees. You want to be able to do their work and do it efficiently. As well, you have that accessibility. It's not focused on internet like the second alternative. You can access it from anywhere. It's online. You get that advantage of real-time data, accurate data. Allows you to make those strategic decisions when you need to. This option, however, does have a $99 per month. With the forecast you've given us in your data for 45 months at the maximum period, it would be about $4,455. We also suggest that you would hire an IT professional. We believe an IT professional would really help push this tool into your development. Since you are in that rush time, you want to know that that IT professional is going to help all your employees get to that mark that they need to. Be able to use this system, not have it fall just like your last one. Be able to now expand on it. Make sure that they can use it properly. Know that they can go to someone if they have problems with it and deal with it right then and there, not wasting any time. So we've estimated an IT professional at $50 per hour at 8 hours a day. We estimate that we would need them about 4 days, which will be expanded upon in the implementation. So about $1,600 for an IT professional. So we have created a decision matrix for you today based on the 3 alternatives with 4 pieces of criteria, all weighted to how we believe they affect your organization. That first criteria, security. As brought up before, you are handling a lot of information, a lot of private data. You definitely want to be able to tell your client that that data is secure, that data is in our hands, and you don't have to worry about losing it. With that first alternative, you don't have that much security. Everyone's able to access everything. That creates security risk. With the third alternative, you get to, it's a little bit better. With the second alternative, as I've stated in the beginning, you get that ability to limit, expand how much data you're allowing your employees to see, and create those levels of security for yourself. Our second criteria is time of deployment. You're in a crunch time. You need this tool to be implemented now, and you need it to be implemented effectively. So, with that first alternative, it's going to be the fastest. That tool is very easy to customize, very easy for your users to use, and you don't need that IT professional to come in and really teach them. With that second alternative though, it's on intranet. It's going to take time to develop that as well. You don't get that real-time data from your employees who are not at your business. Third criteria, cost. As we mentioned before, cost is highly important. You spent over $40,000 on consumer research just before you did the pre-planning phase. Cost is highly important for you. So, with that first alternative, it's going to be the most cost-effective because you're not having to expand on intranet. You're not having to hire that IT professional. With alternative 2, you do have to do that intranet as well. You do lose those advantages of reaping those possible revenues by going faster. Our fourth criteria is connectivity. We feel that connectivity is extremely important for your organization because by having a strong connection, by having all your employees be able to get that data to you accurately, efficiently, timely, you can make those strategic decisions. Those are going to reduce your operating costs. You're going to be able to see those trends. You're going to be able to make those decisions. So as you can see, our alternative 3 is the one we chose. So we would recommend to you alternative 3, go with Right Tool. We believe that this project management tool will benefit your organization. It may cost you more, but the benefits you're going to reap in the long run are going to be substantial. That IT professional is going to get you up to date. This tool is going to give you that data you need to expand. You went from a 20-unit development to a 300-unit development. You want to make sure that this tool will grow with you and it will serve your needs that you need right now. I will now hand it off to Catherine to talk about the implementation.
All right, thank you so much, David. So my team and I have developed an implementation strategy for you in order to make sure that you're able to commit to this project and make sure that it works the first time. As we do realize that you have tried a type of tool before, and we want to make sure that with using this new tool that you're able to do it the first time. Also, we recognize the fact that you have 1 week to make sure that this works the first time, since your phase 1 will be beginning within that 1 week mark. So we've developed 4 separate phases for you to follow, as well as a short-term timeline. We'll begin with our phases. Our first phase will begin with you initiating the project. So you're going to go right to your company and purchase your company right off the bat. Purchasing right immediately will ensure that you can begin your ball rolling. Then you're going to call up your staff, make sure you set up your emails, and meet with them. You want to meet with them the very next day. You want to meet with your top management first. Meeting with your top management will ensure that you get everybody on the same page and have it so that your top management knows the benefits and what's going to be coming in the future. Then you can meet with your secondary lower management as well as the admin, and this will help to increase the amount of awareness and what's going on for them. By having the awareness, you can also try and show them how it can be intrinsically helpful to them by getting some feedback from them and seeing what they want from the project. Next will be your training program. Your training program, as we have mentioned, you'll be hiring one of the IT professionals from your company that you're buying off of. And having this IT personnel coming, and they'll know the most about the product and how to best have it trained into your employees. Your first training day will begin with an overall, with all of your staff, showing all your high to low staff that the top management is on board and that they want to make sure that you succeed. Your next day will begin with just your top management. They're the ones who are going to be using it every day and who will be the ones maintaining it and operating the system mostly. You'll continue the training throughout, and then your next day you're going to have a group training program, having everybody there for tutorials, examples, letting them see what the system goes through, as well as having the top management through there and through the training process with them. For your third phase is your deployment phase. Once you've had everyone trained up, this will ensure that everybody knows what the system's about and is ready to be using it. Especially since the previous system, people felt like it wasn't useful, and we want to make sure that they see the usefulness and the benefits that it brings to them, that the individual will get a main benefit from this. And we'll also recommend that once you have this deployed, that you also create on-the-site help and assistance for them with having the top management there and having the ease of communication. Your fourth phase is your maintenance and support. We want to make sure you maintain the system as well as monitor and support it. Next, you're also going to be very aware that whether or not there's updates to the system and how you can use those updates to help increase and utilize them within your organization. Also, at the very end of this phase, you can start looking at feedback, how employees felt about it, and whether or not they can see things that you can change in it and continue to progress and what they liked. And So, as I mentioned, we do have an implementation timeline for you that is a short-term timeline within the 7 days. So our first 7 days are very strategic and important to follow. As I mentioned, you're going to purchase the product. You're then going to get on board with your staff and have your meeting. Have your meeting with your top management, and then a separate meeting with your top management and the rest of your staff. Then, right off the bat, you can then look at having your IT professional come in and have your overall training program with them for the first day, moving on through the rest of the days with the training program that we have outlined for you. Next, we're going to then deploy. Once everyone's trained, you can then deploy, and you will for sure have a successful deployment of this. Once you've deployed, you're then going to look at having your support and maintenance and ongoing. For contingencies, what if you have issues with employee buy-in? You want to make sure that you have your original critical mass buy-in, which is the % of employees that actually use the system. You recommend that you develop an incentive program for them to follow and use. Next, what if you are having issues with the implementation timeline? We recommend that you can have about 2 to 3 days wiggle room in which you can have the time pushed back. In conclusion, my team and I believe that if you purchase Rike, you can have the competitive advantages that you're looking for, as well as help increase efficiency and your operation. The key takeaways we want to have you take away from today, from us, from our presentation, is that this is time effective, you'll increase your productivity and your connectivity within your company. My team and I would like to thank you so much for coming in here today. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
All right, thank you. There'll be 5 minutes for questions now.
How does your solution of Rike help with my issues I'm having with a ton of emails coming in and different iterations of project plans?
So Rike has a lot of nice functionality. It has email integration. Right now you are using a lot of emails, and that is because a lot of members on your team do not know where they are. Rike allows you to have dashboards and visual representation of your project, of your timeline, of where you are going, of making sure that you are complying with everything that you need to do in your project. So it has email integration. It has a lot of functionality that already aligns with your company. It has Google Docs, it has Excel, and it has a lot of the features that you already are using, but it's just that it's all visual so that it's all communicated and connected within your team. All the information is available in your team.
Okay, so I have my email integrated, which means that I can see all of the emails that I have an issue with, having a lot of those just in a different area. Are you suggesting that the visual side of it is going to make it easier to process all of that information?
The visual effects are going to help you. Some people do learn better by seeing visual aids and really seeing those trends in it. So we do feel that that's going to give them an advantage. As well, with those functionalities of project management, it might organize your emails and categorize them by the projects, and you can really see which emails go with which projects, so you won't have those time delays. As in the information, you said you wasted 5 days, you estimated, in just trying to find recent emails. By having them in project-wise, you can really now look at the ones you want, and it'll increase that speed.
So you're talking about achieving a single source of truth. Can you elaborate? I'm not able to see it, even though your presentation is really well put together. Can any one of you elaborate on that? How are you seeing it?
Yeah, for sure. By having, in a sense, a single source of truth, it's as when you can go into the document, everybody can see when you're typing, everyone can see when there's changes made immediately. This puts everyone on the same page at exact the same moment. Instead of having to send a Word document to several different people, have them make the separate changes, and have it come back, you're essentially cutting your time down, if not more, in half in that way, for having a one-time key.
Thank you.
Thanks for your presentation. In balancing sort of the urgency of getting on with the typically initial development and the balancing the adoption rate, where could you just walk me through your thought process around how to get that balance between that urgency and yet the adoption rate of the staff?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're going to want to make sure that the staff are aware that this is an urgent project, but you're giving them a full 4 days to get on board with it and train with it. As we mentioned, for the amount of time that they'll be spending with it, it's about 8 hours a day for around 2 to 3 days. If there is a slight lack on the picking up of those skills, you can extend it as we mentioned. Also, we do believe that since your staff seems to be very tech savvy, they use iPhones, apps, they're able to pick up technology and use technology, we feel as though this, having it in such a short timeline, it shouldn't be so crucial and shouldn't weigh on their minds as something that's very stressful. It's more of a getting it done and doing it right.
My question revolves around change management. So we very much laid out the timeline and the plan in terms of steps. But I'm wondering a little bit about strategy versus steps. So the main strategy for change management seems to be training on a new system. Given that you already failed once at this whole game with the last system, do you think there's anything more than training required or anything else?
We do realize that there was a system that didn't go over well. It didn't have a high user pickup. As we said, we could have an incentive program. The incentive program, you can have it so that your staff can come in for a day. One of those days that you're having training, you'll pick up in the meeting whether or not they feel like this system's going to work or not, or whether or not it's a positive atmosphere. We say for your incentive program, you could recommend that one of these days, or all of the days that you provide a free lunch, have everybody excited about it, get excited about the project, and let them know this is a new project and not like the last one.